What's up, guys? Be Patrick from Tough over Mystical's Place. Hope you guys all having a safe and blessed day or night. And today, I'm going. I'm not gonna be doing really any gameplay. What I am gonna be doing is that I'm just gonna be like showcasing like the top five strong guns in Warzone. So I'm gonna show you guys the top five guns that I was about but I think in my opinion that I think are effective at the moment. So coming to number five spot, I'm going to be putting the Street Sweeper. Now, shout out to my friend Jose, and he has a YouTube channel as well. Now, the number five is the Street Sweeper. Now, the Street Sweeper was meta when Cold War integrated and when it came out. Now, I think they might have. I think my friends. I think they might have nerfed. Excuse me. I think they might have nerfed the range or the damage a little. But the Street Sweeper can still get the job done. So here's my setup. I rock the HD choke because it is the best option. Because it gives you more damage with the because the damage range and the range on this gun is not the best. But this I put HD choke for barrel. I put the reinforced heavy for more damage range and fire rate. I put Ember Side Point for more damage range and hip fire accuracy. Oh, and I put the 18 round mag and no stock for split the fire time. Now, the Street Sweeper is a really effective gun. And if they nerfed it, the nerf still didn't really quite destroy this gun. Now, if you're really up close, you could down a player in like 3 to 4 shots. It's really effective. Now, what makes, for me, even before they nerfed it, I would say what makes the Street Sweeper a little balanced is the slow reload time. The reload time is slow. I think it's the slowest reload time in any gun in this game. It's really slow. The character puts the shells in like extremely slow. That's why 18 rounds is the best. And the thing about it, it's not like Vanguard where you have perks for the gun, like sleight of hand and stuff. So, and there's also no sleight of hand in Warzone. So basically, it's a slow reload, but the gun is effective. You can land your shots, you can do some damage. So I would say the Street Sweeper is the number 5 spot because there are other guns that are better than this, but this is actually a really good gun still. And this is my setup. My friend Jose and I, we always rock a right shield and rock throwing knives and stuff. I believe he rocks a stun or stim, but I rock a heartbeat still. And I rock ELD, overkill, and amp, of course, for the faster weapon swap, so I can get to my right shield faster and throwing and stuff. It also equipment is used faster, which is cool. So coming to number 4 for being the strongest gun, I will have to go with the well gun. I actually managed to get it, and here's how I look. It's weird. So I managed to get the well gun, I think it was 2 days ago. Like the day after I did it on my stream. And I leveled it up. I used the recoil booster. I got the shrouded barrel. I used all this setup. Shout out to YouTuber Bear Pick. I used his setup. Now, I don't have hand stop yet, but I used some of the setup that he uses. And the well gun is a pretty decent gun. It's pretty effective. I would say when you have stuff that helps with the recoil control like I do, you can really have a really low recoil gun. And in my opinion, the well gun is not that bad of SMG. Now, spoiler alert, the MP40 is coming on later in this list. The MP40, I still prefer the MP40. I still prefer the MP40 over the well gun, but the well gun is not a bad decision. If you are really fast and you're really aggressive, this gun is good for it. Now, I would say the 2 best ammo types you can put on this gun is lengthen or incinerated. To get incinerated, you have to basically max out the gun. But overall, this gun has really good fire rate, especially when you put the recoil booster, and the recoil is really low, and it's really effective. Now, you can go with a 48 round mag that increases your fire rate, but look at the damage. So for me, it's better just to keep the 64 round mag. So this is my setup for the gun, and it's really effective gun. So I recommend using it. Now you can buy it for $10 to unlock it. I would say unlock it because the challenge is not hard. The challenge you have to do, you have to get 10 kills. You can do it in both Warzone and Vanguard, but you have to get 10 kills while aiming down sight with an SMG in 15 different matches, and that wasn't that hard for me. So that's, to me, well gun is number 4 spot, and it's a really effective gun. A weird looking gun, but it gets the job done. Coming to number 3, it's going to be an old meta, the Growl. I made it yesterday, this setup, and this was a setup that everybody rocked. When this gun was meta, everybody rocked this setup. They always rocked the Monolith Suppressor, Tempest 26.4 Archangel barrel, Tac Laser 60 round mag, and Commando foregrip. I used to think Now, after I made the grout, when I used the grout, I used to take out tack laser, and I put the VLK soap. But I decided to put tack laser because for me that helps better because it also helps with your aim stability. The iron sight on this gun is clean, and for me they nerfed this gun I think once or twice, but this gun is still effective. So even though it might be better, in my opinion, this gun is still strong. The growl. So number 3 spot goes to the growl. And this is my setup. And to me, this is the best setup you can make for this gun. But if you don't want to be visible while aiming, get rid of the tack laser and just put on VOK. So coming to number 2 spot, it's going to be the Otis 9. Another meta gun, or a gun that once was meta. Still is effective. This is a setup that I rock. GRU suppressor, task force, VDV speed grip, 41 fast mag, and KGB saddle stock. Now, when this gun came out, it was automatically meta. This gun shoots fast, hits hard, and has pretty good recoil. And now, I don't know if they could. I believe in every cool war gun, I think they silent nerfed every cool war gun. But for me, the OTS 9 or the Otis 9 still gets the job done. So in my opinion, it still is a really good gun. So that comes into the number 2 spot. Now, before I get to the number 1 spot, I will get honorable mentions. The first honorable mention I will have to give is to... I will have to give it to the AK-47 from Cold War. Now, the Modern Warfare AK was effective, but man, somehow the older version of the AK, somehow the Cold War AK is even better than the Modern Warfare AK. Now, this is a setup that I use from Bear Pig, but I always like rocking a 60-round mag the most. To have more ammo, the better. This gun hits hard. They did nerf it a little, I think, with the recoil. But if you guys can control it and not your shots, you can probably down a player in maybe like 4 or 5 shots. This gun hits hard. So this is the best setup, in my opinion, you could rock. And it's effective. This gun is effective. I mean, especially if you're mounting and just shooting, you could down players like an instant. So for me, I would say this is probably the best Cold War assault rifle. And the honorable mention goes to the next honorable mention goes to the Milano. Now the Milano, I picked it up last night from an enemy had it, and I used this gun before, and I forgot how good this gun was. This gun is effective. Now I used to rock sound suppressor with it because it gave me bullet velocity, ADS speed, sound suppressor, of course, split the fire speed. But then I switched over to AG suppressor because it gives me bullet velocity, effective damage range, and vertical recoil control. But at the same time, I would say it's up to you guys whether you want AG suppressor or you want sound suppressor. Because both of these suppressors are good, and I use Task Force, Ember Sighting Point, 55 drum, rear stock. I got this loadout from Bear Pig Central. Shout out to him again. This gun, I don't know what they did there. Cause I remember when I used it for my setup. I think a couple months ago, and this thing was freaking beaming players. I mean, it was beaming players. It was so effective. And then when I picked up an enemy's Milano last night, when I was playing Warzone off stream, I was like, what does this person have? Because the Milano, when I picked up that player's Milano, I was shooting like a couple bullets. I was dropping players left and right, and I forgot how good this gun was. So for me, the Milano is guaranteed can get you a high kill game. And for me, this gun is overlooked. Because this gun, I think even when Cold War integrated, people didn't really use it. But guys, trust me. Guys, if you want, it's fine. If you guys want to have a good SMG that has really good accuracy, may not shoot too fast, but has good accuracy, Milano's the thing. Milano packs a punch and has good accuracy. It may not have a lot of fire rate, but dang, this thing is effective. So Milano is one of the honorable mentions as a strong gun to use in Warzone. It goes to number 1, which is my personal favorite SMG in all of Warzone, MP40. In my opinion, hands down the best SMG. Milano, I would say Milano and this gun are tied. I was thinking about putting the Milano as the number 1, but then the MP40, and for Vanguard, is a little better. The reason why, because you can have 10 attachments, and also you can really have steady recoil. So my setup that I rock for the MP40, you can see, I rock course recoil booster for fire rate. The first barrel, the Snick 317mm 04B barrel for highly accurate control. Like, highly accurate and controllable, and reduces slope sway and gun bop. I rock the hand stop because it gives me recoil control and accuracy. It reduces the hip fire, but the Carver foregrip, I feel like these two are almost the same, but the only thing with the Carver is that it decreases your ADS speed, so I want to have something that's faster. A lot of the attachments I use from Swag, shout out to him as well. And I use the second mag, the 45 round mag. You can also use the 64 round drum if you want, or the last one, but I go with this one because it increases your fire rate. And I'll be honest, it says it reduces your damage and stuff, but here's the thing. Using this mag combined with recoil booster, the gun shoots so fast that the time to kill is like no difference. It's like fast. Ammunition is incinerated. I use the groove grip for even more ADS speed, horizontal recoil control. Momentum I use fully loaded, and I use the VDD 34M padded stock for recoil control. Basically, I want to find stuff to really give this gun a lot of recoil control to beam. And I use the Krisnik 1SO 1M. Now I saw this from I think it was from Bear Pig. He had this soap on. Okay. So I used to rock the sight reflector, but I decided to put this one because I saw the YouTuber did it, but also it increases your ADS speed. So you can have something that does give you a bonus ADS speed. But in my opinion, I think the MP40, in my opinion, is one of the strongest guns, or I would just say in general the strongest SMG in this game. But in my opinion, it's a really strong gun. Especially if you're playing Rebirth, you get this loadout. I would say try this loadout if you guys want. I would say try it. Because this loadout for me helped me a lot. I like the recoil control on it, and just how fast I can shoot. And I rock it with the growl. And I rock EOD. I used to rock amped a lot too, but I decided to go combat style and have thermite and stim. So that right there is my top 5 strongest guns. Now I could also do a top 5 weakest guns right now. I might rename the top 5 strongest guns. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do that. So guys, you guys are in luck. I'm doing basically two videos in one. So now I'm gonna be talking about the weakest guns, top 5 weakest guns that you guys should avoid in Warzone. Now, I do want to be able to learn to edit more so I can show you guys how these guns look in action. But I'm going to tell you guys the top 5 guns that are bad. So I'm going to change my title. I'm going to change my title to top 5 strongest guns in Warzone and the top 5 worst guns in Warzone. Or weakest guns. So number 5 for the weakest gun is going to go to a pistol. And that is... Dun 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 dun. It is... Dun 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 dun. It's the Rat. Now, my friend Jose had a point. The Rat, it's like a wannabe M1911. I know these are real guns. But in this game, the Rat, it's like a wannabe M1911. The M1911 from Vanguard is good. But the Rat, it tries to be like the M1911, but it fails. Like, it does shoot fast. You can have a good trigger finger. But the gun can be the gun's like a pea shooter most of the time. At least with the M1911, for Vanguard, you can actually do a good amount of damage. For me, this is a really good pistol. It's not meta, but it's pretty effective, and I always like having it as a starting pistol when the game gives it. But the Rat, nah, it's just, this is how it looks. You can put different attachment and stuff, you know, like fire rounds and stuff, but the Rat is just not a pistol that I recommend using. I mean, and it's, I always wonder, why do pistols in shooter games, especially in Call of Duty, a lot, like sometimes some semi-auto pistols aren't that good. So the Rat in Vanguard, it's slightly better, but in Warzone, nah, it's like, nah. So coming number 4 is going to be the Clouser. Now the Clouser, it does a little more damage than the Rat, and I actually picked this gun up a couple times, and I actually did a decent amount of damage. But the reason why I said it's a bad gun is that the gun moves a lot. For a pistol, this thing freaking jumps up a little bit. Like, because I believe there's two differences between recoil and gun sway. Gun sway, basically, I guess when you shoot, it's like the way the gun like bops to your character. Because I've seen guns that have like a weird slope sway or gun bop, like the slope's like moving back like a lot, but the gun is steady. But the Clouser, if you got your shots, it could break probably someone's full plates, maybe in like 4 shots or 3. But the gun, the reason why I say it's a bad gun, because it just moves too much. I understand you can put attachments and stuff, but for me, the Clouser moves too much for a pistol. There's a lot of streaming going on. Sorry if the stream's too long. Yeah, I did not want to make a really long stream, but for me, the Clouser just can't get the job done. Coming in number 3, it's going to be another pistol. The M1911 from Modern Warfare. Horrible. Horrible. I'm sorry to say, but horrible. This gun, I know it's a fan favorite gun in the franchise, but the M1911 from Modern Warfare, it's like the Clouser, but a little worse. This thing has more recoil. Like, before they integrated with like Warzone, before they integrated with Cold War or Vanguard, the M1911, whew. Hello, viewer watching, how you been? I'm ranking the guns I think are not that effective. So for me, the M1911 from Modern Warfare, it's not that good. The gun moves a lot, and whenever I used it, like when I spawn with it, whenever I try to land some shots, it feels like for me the bullets would just go through the player's body. They won't even hit him. Even when I do connect, it's like a pea shooter. So for me, the M1911 is not good as a pistol or as a gun in general. No. Alright, so let me see what else is a bad gun. Number 2, the tank rifle. So this is actually a sniper from World at War, and it was a pretty good sniper. It was called a PTSR, but in here it's called a Gorenko anti-tank rifle. It's decent. I picked it up from ground loot, but now this gun can be, it's alright, but I'm gonna tell you why I put it as number 2. The recoil. This gun has, I think, in history, it's probably one of the worst recoils I've ever seen. This gun, when you fire like 2 shots, you're looking at freaking planet Mars. I'm gonna show you guys in game how bad the recoil is with the sniper. Hello to the viewer, how you been? For me, the tank rifle, and I do like using it in Vanguard. It's an effective gun in Vanguard, but in Warzone, this is a sniper you have to stip. I'm sorry. The gun moves so much. Now you can put attachments to make it steady, but even like that, the gun still jumps up a lot. Oh, hello, 2 viewers, how you been? So for me, the tank rifle, anti-tank rifle, is not worth using because the recoil is so much. I'm actually gonna put a setup. I'm gonna put that as a setup right now because I want to show you guys how bad it is. So I'm gonna try to find some attachments that could help with the recoil. So let's see. So I was trying to find some attachments that make it better. But I don't know if I can, to be honest. But for me, and all of that, I wish I honestly saved this clip, to be honest. I don't have a clip, but what I never liked in Warzone is that when you down the down player sometimes is able, or all the time, they're always able to take more bullets. And I remember I shot some guy. Man, I wish I saved this clip, because I shot this ghost face in the head. I downed him in 1 shot, which is normal for a sniper. But then I shot him through 4 more times to finally kill him. So I downed him with 1 bullet to the head, and then I fired at his body. I think the first shot when I shot him in his body was a headshot. Then I had to shoot him 3 more times again. So basically, it took 1 bullet to drop him, but then it took 4 shots to finish off a downed player. So for me, the tank rifle is a bad gun. In Vanguard, it's pretty decent. It's pretty good. But in Warzone, it's a sniper that I would say avoid. I mean, you have other good snipers like the Swiss. You have the Modern Warfare car, like right here. You have the SPR. Let's see what else you have. You have the Tundra. I mean, you have like even the HDR. You have like a lot of other good snipers to use than a tank rifle. So honorable mention to another bad gun, I will have to give this to the Howler. Now it's a controversial one because the Howler is actually pretty effective. You can like shoot one person, but with the Howler you'd be a little accurate. But you could probably down a player in like 2 shots, 3 maybe the most. But the reason why I put it as a bad gun Now it still is usable. But the reason why I put it as a bad gun is because the character takes so long to pump it. Like rechamber it basically. It does say moderate rechamber speed, but even when you put an attachment like reinforced heavy barrel that helps with the rechamber speed, the character will still pump it slow. If the gun had faster rechamber speed, I would not put it on this list. Like the Howard is effective, but what holds it back from being really top tier is like the rechamber speed. So I would say the Howard is that's why it's a dishonorable mention, because it's not really like a bad gun, but I'm just saying if it didn't have a slow rechamber speed, this gun would be top tier. Now remember, this is my opinion, but I'm just saying the guns that I find that are not that strong or not that good. The next gun that's weak is double barrel. Now before they nerfed it to the ground, if you would have put sawed off barrel, either incinerated or packed or bucking slug, mostly incinerated. If you would have had, I'll say like maybe smoothbore. If you would have had probably like full choke. If you would have had sawed off, akimbo. I'm gonna do these. So if you would have had full choke, sawed off, incinerated, akimbo especially, and I will say remove slug. If you would have had this setup before they nerfed these guns, people were running around with, including myself, I'm gonna be honest, with double barrels, sawed off double barrels, and these things were freaking broken. They were taking over Warzone for I think it was almost like a month, or a couple weeks. But what was crazy is that when you cut the sawed off barrel, right, it even said it reduces damage range, but for whatever reason, when you put the sawed off, it will actually increase your range. Like players were still able to hit their opponents from good distance. So even with a sawed off barrel, it was still good range it had. The reason why I put it as a bad gun, because since they nerfed it, it's pointless. But if you have the double barrel just by itself, it's not that good. Especially the ground loot one. I get you can make your own setups, but like in general, the double barrel by itself is not that effective. Like akimbo they are, but those are kind of nerfed to the ground already. So yeah, a lot of guns that. Whew. But I think I found. But I think I'm fine. I think I remember one of the worst guns. I think in Warzone. Man, in my opinion, I think it's one of the worst guns. Dun 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 dun. Now remember, this is like an updated version. Coming to number 1. Bam, bam, bam. It is going to be. Bam. Drum roll, please. Boom, 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 boom. Bam, bam. It is going, in my opinion. Dun, dun, dun. I will have to say. The G43. Now I made a setup. Now I was actually going to put like a pistol. I was going to like put like another pistol and then like a launcher, but I forgot about this gun. But I would say the G43. Now I don't really have it maxed out, but the downside with this gun is it's a marksman rifle. But basically you can actually make this gun fully auto. But the problem with it is that it takes heavy ammo. Now I understand you can probably make a build, maybe like make it semi-auto and stuff. But basically you can put a magazine that helps with the fire rate. So I'm gonna show you. So here it is. With this blueprint, it comes with a mag that increases your fire rate, and then it comes with a full auto barrel. Now the downside with this is that you can see a full auto barrel. It reduces your damage. You also got this magazine that reduces your damage even more. Now, I was going to put like another pistol, like maybe the 0.37 without snake shots, but I decided just to go with G43 because I thought of it in my head like, oh yeah, this gun. Now, what makes this gun, in my opinion, the worst gun right now, is it takes heavy bullets. Now, I know I'm pretty sure it's like a marksman rifle, but let's say you want to make a full auto barrel, a full auto class, it might not be the best reason, but I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I kind of wish this video was a little better. I just didn't really know. I didn't really know what to really think of this video. I probably should have just ended it after listing the good guns, but I want to also make bad guns. So, honestly, in general, nah, G43 really isn't the worst gun at all. No, it's not that. I forgot. I'm thinking of a gun that was like terrible. Oh yeah, never mind. My bad. It's not the G43. Graciato. It's the Graciato. Oh boy. Now in Vanguard, this gun was terrorizing players. If you put the gun hole perk, you were able to run and just spam your trigger. Just spam the trigger. Like if you have a good trigger finger, you can spam this gun and running. You can be in the map DOS House in Vanguard. People were running to enemy spawns in seconds, running back to the other spawns doing the same thing. But in Warzone, this gun sucks. I don't have it maxed out. Listen, I picked it up from the ground, and usually ground loot's fairly decent. This gun, oh my goodness, it takes literally like a whole clip. Like, it literally takes like 4 shots to down someone, or maybe even a whole freaking all the shots to down a player. The thing with the Graciato, it has high fire rate, but the damage is poorly, and it has horrible range. So I take back what I said about G43. G43 is actually decent, just if it didn't have heavy ammo, it would be better. But the Graciato, oh my goodness. Look guys, I understand you can make your own setups, make it good. And I'm going to try to roll this gun up to see how it could be when I fully make a setup. But usually when you pick up a ground loot, it's supposed to be already good. But no, the Graciato, this gun, oh. Even when I pick it up as my only resort, I still cringe because this gun killed me more than it helped me. You have to be like practically hugging your opponent to down him like quickly. If the player is like a 4 or 5 feet from you, this gun's pointless. So I would say the worst gun as of right now is the Graciato. So anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a blessed day or night, and I'll see you later.